Good day, everyone. I would like to provide a great novena reflection, and I encourage everybody to do the same. But as we celebrate the 4th of July today, happy Independence Day to all of us Americans, I think we're going into the year of wonder, but also looking forward to this year of freedom coming next year. We don't want to get too far ahead in the story. However, I think wonder is a perfect chapter before freedom. And if I could tell maybe a story about when I first started to work at the monastery, just right down the road, not out this window, but the other way, here in the countryside, the Abbey of Gethsemane, all of these monks, and I was a new Catholic convert myself, had really little idea of what monks did, and suddenly I was in their midst, and I thought it was going to be like something out of a fantasy novel. But really, the first day of work, you realize is how human they are. And it's much more comfortable in that sense. You realize that everybody there is human. That these people, these monks, might be called to be great saints, as we all are, but they're not saints yet. Not saints yet. That's important. Because there is a real beautiful aspect of humanity, because Jesus took on our humanity. And really, when we look towards Christ, we're becoming more like Christ. And slowly, those little faults of ours, they're being almost made stronger in goodness with grace. They're being transformed into something better. We are becoming like Christ with our own unique characteristics, our own unique talents. Now, I'm getting way far away from the original story. Let's return. I think there's a lot of wonder just when people in the outside world look at monks. They seem like they're wasting all of their time. It seems like it's a wasted life. And I remember people that had businesses, managed businesses, like a person who was discerning actually had like these farms pretty well off, like at least in worldly terms here. However, they leave it all behind. They don't just leave it behind, but they make a sacrifice to have less, to make a vow of poverty, to live together in a community, a monastery. One, they're going to be one together. And even though they have their different faults, even though they have their own unique weaknesses, they still come together to pray every day, to come together as a community. And it's really that basis, this higher idea, just as the higher idea of freedom in America, the Declaration of Independence and whatnot, 50 states, all one, coming together and having union. So that's another theme of the Great Novena. And that's something I think we can really take away just ourselves from the monastery, seeing how it works. Okay, let me end the story now. So it seems like a wasted life. It seems like they're just sitting around doing nothing all day. However, they're growing a interior life with God. It's really a contemplative life where they can just sit and relax. They don't even have to consciously try to put words together in their head to pray always. It just comes naturally. That's something I learned from fudge making. Fudge making is actually a very excellent contemplative activity because your body knows how to easily wrap fudge boxes, put them in the boxes, put them in the bigger boxes, and so on. Once your body is kind of on autopilot like that, it allows really the spirit, I suppose, just to kind of almost automatically pray. And that's how you really get into that contemplative state. It's where you don't recognize it necessarily. I think it was maybe one of the saints, St. Francis, somebody, they said if you recognize it, then it ruins it. You kind of lose that contemplative state. And you have to almost just naturally like appreciate the beauty around you here, like this beautiful field. You have to see God's beauty and recognize God is working in it. And you're recognizing that beauty so much, you're trying to think, what is God doing? How is God teaching me a lesson through all this beauty? And then you lose track of yourself. You no longer think about yourself. That's what I realized. And that's something that really transformed me from maybe a person who was, well, I always tell people I was an introvert. I was always maybe nervous to talk to other people because I was always thinking of myself. A lot of people who are shy, they're thinking of themselves. But me being around those monks for so long, they were thinking of other people. They were thinking of what other people around them were doing, the other monks. And so that really gave me that boost to maybe think less about myself and to think more about other people. And so all of that going together, this theme of just wonder is something that I think will help all of our prayer lives. It's no longer just getting stuck on the words. It's no longer just saying the rosary out of repetition, but maybe that repetition, like stacking the fudge boxes, allows us to wonder at God's goodness. So may God bless you all. Have a happy 4th of July. And yes, let's continue to pray.